What's up, space pirates? This is your Admiral, the effortlessly entertaining Dr. Disaster. And somehow things just keep getting worse for the likes of Doctor Who. The other day, as we discussed, the actress Millie Gibson, who played Ncuti Gatwa's companion in the 15th Doctor's first season, she told everyone to get over all of the woke shit in the show and just watch it.
Don't ask questions. Just consume product and then get excited for next product.
Well, it turns out that Whovians actually went along with what she said this week, or at least half of what she said. We got over all of the woke crap that infests the show. We aren't concerning ourselves with it, but we aren't watching it either. Here in the States, ever since Doctor Who hit Disney Plus, the show has never tracked on the top 10 streaming shows, not for any episode in its 2-season run thus far. And over in the UK, things are looking absolutely bleak. I know it probably gets a little old to hear me say this, but it's just the truth. Doctor Who has now broken another record for lowest viewership in the show's history. As you can see here, the 7-day viewing figures are in for last week's episode, Lucky Day. And for the first time ever, they couldn't hit 3 million viewers.
Abandon ship or abandon hope.
Now, we have been talking about this for a few months now, this notion that Disney is going to drop Doctor Who's ass after this season due to the piss-poor viewership. And while the numbers have looked terrible, and while there have been all kinds of clues signifying that yes, unless things really pick up for the viewership, it seems like Doctor Who is going to go bye-bye for at least a while, a part of me still kind of believes that we're going to be surprised, that Disney is just going to make another in a long line of asinine decisions and decide to renew their commitment to Doctor Who purely because they disdain us. But based on this news here about the upcoming finale of this current season, and based on some leaks that we've kind of seen floating around over the past day or so, my doubts about the show being canceled are fading almost completely. Word is that Ncuti will indeed be facing regeneration at the end of this season, and as the Doctor tries to regenerate into another unrecognizable form, Disney is going to look at them with contempt and say the following.
You are terminated.
Alright me hearties, make sure that you hit the like button on this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. We just surpassed another subscriber milestone, so it is time to celebrate by asking the question that most of you know is coming.
How many assholes we got on this ship anyhow?
Yo!
We now have 131,000 space pirate a-holes in this buccaneer crew of ours, and as is the custom on this channel, with every 1,000 subscribers, I add a new ship to the fleet at the beginning of my videos in order to house the new guys. This time, one of you recommended the 928 Galaxy Explorer from the classic LEGO collection. I'm not sure how many of you guys are going to be able to cram in there, but you'll figure it out, I suppose. In any event, if you have suggestions for future ships to add to the fleet, drop them into the comment section below, and I will add them to my long list. Super chats get bumped to the top of that list, and also, I added an alphabetical list of all the ships already in the fleet to the description of the video for your reference. But in any case, I want to thank everyone for being here. It really does mean a lot.
I knew it. I'm surrounded by assholes.
But alright, let's talk about Doctor Who and what we are hearing about the finale of this current season. Now, I know that all of the media outlets are trying really hard to spin this news in a positive way. They are taking a quote from Russell T Davies and trying to whip up excitement as he describes what people can expect from the upcoming finale. But they are ignoring the context that the show has seen the ratings crater to points hitherto believed impossible for the show to reach, and the comments from Davies accompanies the news that the last episode of Doctor Who will be released simultaneously on the BBC, the iPlayer, and on Disney Plus all across the world. And the real reason to do this, of course, is because they want to avoid spoilers. But let's read what was said, and then I'll talk about it some more. Bleeding Cool is the outlet where this article comes from. It says here, Doctor Who Season 2 finale won't stream early. RTD drops big clues. As excited as everyone is for this weekend's episode of Doctor Who, we've got some big news to pass along about what's going down after the final notes are sung on the Interstellar Song Contest, set up for Saturday, May 31st. The extra special length season finale episode, The Reality War, will premiere simultaneously on BBC One, BBC iPlayer, Disney Plus, and in over 450 cinemas across the UK and Ireland. And then they have a quote from RTD: "The Doctor is doomed, Belinda is lost, Ruby is trapped, Unit is powerless, the unholy trinity rule supreme, and the underverse is rising." And now we can all experience this devastating climax together, all at the same time, with a unique premiere. I can promise shocks, scares, and revelations off the scale. Come and have fun, Davies shared when the news was announced. So, what this suggests, and there have been some alleged leaks that have surfaced on Twitter in the past day or so. I don't know if I believe them completely or not, but what this suggests is that there is something big happening that they don't want people to be able to spoil to others. It also comes off as a last-ditch effort to drum up interest in a show that nobody is watching. But my guess is that Ncuti Gatwa is going to regenerate, or at least his regeneration will begin in this episode. My guess is that this signifies that Disney is done with the show. Now, a few months back, we talked about how Russell T Davies' Bad Wolf studio was essentially being advertised for renting out shortly after they finished work on the second season of Ncuti Gatwa's Doctor. I see no way this would happen if Bad Wolf was still going to be involved. My guess is that we're going to see a bit of a half measure when it comes to Doctor Who. When the Jodie Whittaker and Chris Chibnall era wound down, the powers that be were looking for a fresh new start, and after a couple of years, they got one. It wasn't a good start with Ncuti Gatwa, but it was at least something different. Now my guess is that they are going to have a similar approach to the cratering ratings for the 15th Doctor. I think Disney is going to back out because it simply cannot be worth the money that they are putting into it. The number of people actually watching this drivel on their platform has to be microscopic by now. My guess is that a new entity, a new studio, is going to be given the reins to Doctor Who, and that it will just be BBC that will be funding it from now on, and there will be a lull of a couple of years while the new showrunners get their plans put together and take over. Now, it is possible that Disney remains on board with such a change. Maybe they can be convinced that it was just Russell T Davies who was the problem. I don't see them putting anywhere near the level of investment into the show that they did before, unless, of course, it was their own studio who took over, in which case Disney is the sort of company who, for better or worse, will treat their coffers like an infinite money machine if it means they get control over an IP. But basically, to summarize what I'm saying, is that between the leaks that have been circulating suggesting a regeneration will happen in this finale, along with the floundering viewership, they just broke another record for the failure of the show after all. But between all that and this new announcement announcement that they are going well out of their way to avoid spoilers, I suspect Ncuti Gatwa and Bad Wolf are done with this IP. If I had to guess, there won't be a long layover between Doctors like what we saw in the late 80s until Christopher Eccleston came along about 20 years ago. It will likely look similar to what we saw with the transfer from Whitaker to the second David Tennant run. But I'm going to leave it there. What do you think is going to happen with Doctor Who? The BBC seems ridiculously committed to the show, so do you think they'll find a way to keep it going without Disney? Or will Disney agree to remain on board? Or what do you think will happen? Drop your thoughts into the comment section below, and we will talk there. Thanks for watching, me hearties. If you haven't already, your Admiral is inviting you to subscribe to the channel and become a part of the crew. Life as a space pirate may not be glamorous, but there's always plenty of booty.